y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I have a traveler's notebook process video for you. This is the one I have been working in for some time, and I'm getting close to the end. Today I'm going to document this picture of a little date that my husband and I got to go on. I'm planning on using elements from the Some Days collection from Pink Fresh Studio, beautiful for spring. I will link everything that I end up using down below. Otherwise, I will put you all on fast forward. Let's go. As I get towards the end of this traveler's notebook, it's getting a little bit harder to work directly in the traveler's notebook. So I'm liking cutting papers out and then putting my page together on that paper, and then I adhere it into the book. I actually mismeasured, I should know. I'm cutting out this paper to be 4¼ inches wide and 8¼ inches tall, which is the size of a traveler's notebook. I cut it a little bit too short width-wise first. And I am going to use that page to put together the left side of my spread out of the traveler's notebook, and then I'll just adhere the whole thing down. For the right side of the spread, I'm using a strip from that same blue paper. It has kind of a ledger look on it. I'm using a same strip and this beautiful black and white floral that I will layer together and then center my picture on that. So it won't cover the whole page of the traveler's notebook, but it will bring in a lot of color and pattern as sort of a centering and anchoring element for that page. So you can see it'll go right down the center, and then my picture will be right on the top of it. This picture is actually from an unexpected date that my husband and I got to have. When I was going to get my vaccine, it turned into this whole fiasco, and we ended up with time to kill in Washington, D.C. And so we took some time and had some coffee and sat in a park, and it was really nice to not have anything that had to be done right at that second. We just sat and we talked and enjoyed the warm sunshine, and it was really a wonderful, peaceful moment in the midst of what turned out to be a little bit of a stressful day as I tried to get my vaccine. It all worked out in the end, so I was able to get the first dose of my COVID-19 vaccine in the afternoon, and we got to enjoy this wonderful surprise date. So all in all, it was a really great day, some great time spent together. So I thought it'd be nice to document it because it's been a long time since we've gotten to spend time without the kiddos. And so I definitely wanted to document that story and appreciate that unexpected moment. I really like the Some Days collection from Pink Fresh Studios because it just has some really great elements that are great for layering. And I'm using the cut apart sheet a bunch in this one. I love all of the different tags, the different elements that you can layer together. And that's what I'll be using over on the left side primarily. I'll cut a hole in that tag or use my hole punch to add a little hole in that tag just to make it a little bit more authentic. And then I'll start to kind of piece together some different elements. I decided to kind of go with the green that is in my husband's drink that he picked up from Starbucks. The greens and the blues, there was green grass. It was a nice muted color palette on the picture. And you guys know I don't always match the colors of my elements to the colors of the picture, but in this case it worked out really nicely, and so I went ahead and went for it. I have two different ephemera packs from the Some Days collection. One is all floral and one is just a lot of other pieces. I loved the little coffee maker, very indicative of us getting our coffee treat together, and then of course a rainbow, which actually ended up not making on the spread, but lots of tags, lots of tickets. It was fun kind of piecing it together. The blue tag, the light blue tag, is definitely blending into the background, and so you'll see as I kind of work with it, I'm trying to group other colors around it that will help it pop out a little bit more. I loved this one with all the days of the week, and then you can just label which day you are working with. Definitely wanted to include the coffee piece. I thought that was really cute and really specific to that particular day. And I'm just having fun mixing and matching some of the colors around the page. I started to stick with just the blues and greens. You'll see that later on I decided to bring in some orange and pink because of the florals I chose for the other side of the spread. But originally the plan was blue and green, and sometimes you just adjust as you go. You can see that as I'm working with layering and clustering elements, I start with the biggest pieces and then start filling in smaller ones from there. So I pick an array of pieces that I could use or that I might use. And then when I'm actually putting together the cluster, I start with the largest first and work my way to the smaller pieces as I go. All right, so I have a lot of the main pieces on here. Now I'm gonna look for some florals, and there were some nice ones that I could include. The florals just say spring to me. I love getting to include them in the spread, and I loved this pack because there were so many, and they were a little bit of a lighter tone. So definitely, yellows and pinks for sure, but it wasn't as in your face. And I actually really, really liked the inclusion of orange, which is why I bring it in on the other side of the spread and then come back and add a little bit more here. It definitely softens the look of the spread, adding florals. It was getting real boxy with the other elements that I was adding. So it was nice to kind of bring it down a notch with some more florals on the other side. Okay. Now I'm going to take my attention to the right side of the spread. I'll start by putting down, again, the main elements, the biggest ones first, trimming off this piece over on the right, and then I will anchor my photo on that piece. And I'm going to look through the florals. I definitely wanted to include florals all along this one, which is why the orange and the pink make their way in. I consciously turned it so that the yellow wasn't going to be dominant. I didn't want to bring a bunch of yellow. I didn't mind the orange, but the yellow was a little bit brighter than I wanted to go. So I'm going to turn the elements to make sure the yellow is a little bit hidden. And then I'll actually change out the other floral that is on the bottom because it just didn't quite go with what I was looking for. As I look in that big stash of florals, there's one that has this bright orange flower or a big orange flower. So that's the one I'm going to end up using on this spread. I'm also really liking the look of one ephemera piece behind a photo and one in front. So I think that just makes it look more together on the page. It looks really thought out and intentional instead of just putting all of the ephemera behind or all of it in front. The layering, I think, is a really nice effect. And then I will include this little tag, which will have my title on it. And actually, I go with the title of Peace because that is just what it felt like. Sitting in this park on a beautiful spring day, enjoying coffee with my husband just felt so peaceful. And it was maybe the most peaceful that we have felt in a long time. So I very much enjoyed it. You can see how the two spreads will kind of work together. And now this is where I'm deciding I probably need to bring in some orange over on the left side. So I'll pick a few florals that have some orange in them that I can bring in. So this one is really pretty. I'm not good with the names of flowers, but I like these orange hanging flowers. I think they're very nice, and that'll bring a nice little pop of orange. And then I actually find a smaller pink one, a pink flower that'll go over on the bottom that'll bring in a little bit of pink. And that way the two sides are related. You don't want to have one color on one side that's not included on the other side as well. Bring them both together so that is a full 2-page spread. Next up, I am grabbing the thickers from the Some Days collection and adding my title of Peace. I'm building it from the right to the left so that I know that it is spaced correctly and it doesn't go off the page, which is what I have to do a lot of the time. Spatial reasoning, not my best. And some quick journaling just about how it was kind of an unexpected date and we just really enjoyed our time together. I love getting to document those little stories. The last thing I will do is adhere this page to the actual traveler's notebook using my ATG adhesive tape glider to secure it on there. And then I'll end up grabbing my date stamp and adding the date that this occurred, March 26th, just so I can kind of remember. And it was a big day. It was the day I got my first vaccine. So a date to remember for sure. And that will be it for this page. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. I have linked all of the supplies down below, so if you're interested in checking those out, make sure to check out the description box. A special shout out to all of my YouTube members. Thank you so much for your support. If you are interested in finding out about YouTube membership and about the extra perks links they receive, make sure to click the join button below. I hope that you all have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.